What's on, where, and when. It's the Talk of Nelson. NBS Talk Nelson.
At NBS, we believe in banking for life. For over 160 years, we've been a trusted banking provider for generations of locals like you. We know our clients personally and build long-term relationships with them, offering flexibility by giving our staff freedom to make quick decisions to put them first. Experience banking for life with NBS.
Welcome to the Bays Joinery Football Focus, your prime source for all things football on the top of the South. I'm Chris Butler. Alongside me, my co-host Neil Connell. Nice to have you here, mate.
Good to be back.
And as the song goes, just the two of us.
Just the two of us. Yep.
We busy week because the International Cup is on, and
all going.
And so we've talked to one or two people, but flat out, lots on. We talked to Geezer, and he's flat out. And of course, quite a few parents go down to Christchurch.
Yeah, so quite hard to get somebody along this week, but Geezer's flat out at the moment. I've just left, actually. We got 60 odd kids down there for the suburbs holiday program this morning. So
wow, 60.
Yeah, we got it, and it's really good because we've got probably 18 girls down there, a couple of girls taking them, and the rest made up by boys, obviously. So yeah, good day down at Saxon's this morning.
Good stuff. So a bit later on the show, we're going to be keeping you up to date with what's happening down there in Christchurch. Before we do anything else, we'd like to give a shout out to our venue sponsor, the Turf Hotel, Main Road, Stoke. Thanks to Stan and the team. And on Thursday, it's Jam Night from 8 till 11. Friday, Lou Bragg Band, 9 till 11. On Saturday, it's Take Me Out, 9 to 11. And on Sunday, it's the big meat raffle. I said, geez, that's, how big is that meat raffle? And
that's huge.
They say it's the size of the pool table.
Yeah, it takes up the whole back. Yeah, it's massive. So well done to Stan for keeping that going, and Michaela does a great job with that as well. So
yeah, $2,400 up for grabs.
Yeah, a lot of meat.
And there's other prizes as well, so make sure you come down. Also, a big shout out to George Molnar and the team at Bays Joinery for all your joinery needs, who are naming the right sponsor of the Football Focus podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be catching up with senior men and women's local premiership, the Southern League for both men and women, the latest on New Zealand football, bit of local good news there, some overseas news. Of course, it's all about the Euros and also the International Cup in Christchurch. But first of all, it's the Senior Football Update brought to you by Sheehan Financial, KiwiSaver Insurance and Financial Planning. Women's First Division and some results. Sprig and Fern Tahuna Breakers carrying on their good form over Get Cars FC Nelson Diamonds. Not a thrashing though, 3-0, so that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, the Diamonds are doing all right.
The Hothouse Creative Richmond Foxes 4-1 over Nelson Suburbs Swans.
Yep, so Michaela must have had a full squad back again, it looks like.
Yes, that's right. And Mapua Cougars 5-1 over Motueka Angels, so they continue their winning ways. Let's look at the draw for this weekend, and the Hot House Creative Richmond Foxes taking on the Mapua Cougars, and going to be a tough day for Mapua, although their form has been pretty good.
Yeah, good win last week for Mapua Cougars, 5-1. Yeah. But Richmond Foxes seem to have got back on again. So holiday weekend, so again, a lot of teams will be affected by people being away, I would imagine. So it just depends who's available. But if all the players are there, you'd imagine the Foxes will be too strong for Mapua, I would say.
It is at Jubilee Park, so they do have home ground advantage. Get Cars FC Nelson Diamonds taking on the Motueka Angels at the Botanics, and this is going to be, I think it'll be a good fairly game. Close.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good one. That's a good chance for Diamonds to get some points on the board for the season. So, good luck to the Nelson Diamonds, FC Nelson Diamonds, I should say, plugging away all season and getting a team on the pitch. I think it's only one time they couldn't manage to do it through sickness and stuff. So well done to them, and hopefully they can get a result of the weekend.
Golden Bay Shield Maidens taking on the Tahuna Breakers, another tough match there.
Yeah, over the hill.
That's right. Well, the Tahuna Breakers have been playing really well, but they do have to travel over the hill to the Takaka ground.
Yeah.
And we know that's a big trip, and Golden Bay Shield Maiden's hard to beat on a home
There will
patch.
be, but Tuna Breakers third in the league, so you'd imagine if they've got everyone available, they would be able to get a result over in Golden Bay, but not an easy trip. So long trip over the hill, then they put stuff in the water as we spoke about. So yeah, I'll go with the Tahuna Breakers, I think.
And then we've got now this is a derby.
It's a derby, yeah, proper derby. Saxton's derby.
The Nelson Suburb Swans
Yep.
are taking on the reserves, so
Yep.
a big hometown derby at Saxton.
Yeah.
But as you say, it is school holidays, so
Yeah.
it's a bit tough for the Swans
Well,
at times.
It will be tough, but I think it's even tougher for the reserves because a lot of the young girls are going away to play in the tournament we spoke about last week. So I think they're pretty short. So I think I think they're trying to rearrange that fixture. So hopefully they can come to some agreement together to play at another date. Yeah, I think the Swans are pretty good for numbers this weekend, but definitely the reserves are going to be struggling with all those young girls away. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. Okay. And then looking at the table, the top three, Richmond Foxes well and truly in front.
Yeah.
Nelson Suburbs Reserves second place, not far behind. The Tahuna Breakers now move into third position.
Yeah.
And the reserves do have a game in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I think not far behind them might be the Swans. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
pretty Swans.
Yeah. So it could be the reserves, but yeah, so very tight at the top of the table there. Nelson Pine Senior Men's First Division, and there has been some movement on the table.
Yeah, good weekend of football there.
Yeah. First of all, Rangers 11-2 over Motueka.
Yeah.
That was in Blenheim, so Motueka obviously finding it difficult with travel over the hill. Smith and Sons Richmond 2-1 over the Golden Bay Mountain Goats. That would be a good result on their club day.
Yeah, good. Yeah, we did pick that one. I think we've got 2 from 2 so far.
Oh, that's good.
No draws.
Now, check this one out. This is where it get some decisions get made at the top of the table with the reserves getting a 1-0 win over FC Nelson. So that actually gives them a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, a little bit, but of course FC still got the game in hand, the 2 games in hand, whatever it may be.
And it sort of puts Rangers in a position where it's going to take a bit or an upset for someone to catch them.
And it was 0-0 for a long period of the game. I think Nelson Suburbs got a penalty in the last moments of the game. So young Brock Cotton stepped up and keeper made a good save, and then tapped in a rebound. So it's pretty late on for. We know that FC Nelson we spoke about in the past, they do come back from being goals down, but just too late on in the game for them that weekend. But it keeps it interesting.
Yeah. And then FC Nelson Karenni would be pretty pleased with this result.
Yeah.
Always a tough battle against Tahuna.
Yeah.
And taking that out 1-0.
Tight game. Yeah. So we got 4 from 4 this week.
Oh, did
First time ever. First time ever.
Well, I'm glad you're doing the picking.
Not George.
The draw for this weekend. Okay, so a tough one for FC Nelson. They've got to go pick themselves up after that loss and go over the hill to take on the Golden Bay Mountain Goats, and they're not easy beats on their hometown pitch.
No, definitely not. It'll be a tough one, massive pitch over there in Golden Bay as well. So, but I'd imagine FC Nelson they'll need a win this weekend to keep in touch with if they want to try and win that league. So I think I think FC Nelson will get the win there.
Motueka first 11 taking on Smith and Sons Richmond. They'll be licking their wounds a bit, and they are on their home pitch at Memorial Park. Richmond been travelling all right recently, so it's going to be
a tough game
match.
To call. Yeah, a tough one. It could be a draw.
Going for the draw.
Could be a draw.
Playing it safe.
Yeah, we'll go with a draw there.
Sprig and Fern Tahuna taking on Rangers. Rangers do have to travel. Tahuna will definitely be taking them on.
Yeah, definitely.
And of course, reserves and FC will be.
They'll be hoping for a Tahuna upset there.
They will be.
But the Rangers are scoring goals at the moment, and big result last week. Yeah, they get used to. I used to do it myself. You kind of get used to travelling over the hill, just over the Wungamose to play. So not too big a journey. So I would imagine Rangers will be too strong for Sprig and Fern this week.
Stop off at the Rye for a mussel pie.
Stop off at the Rye, yeah. Brick oven.
Yeah, the brick oven. That's right. FC Karenni taking on Nelson Suburbs Reserves.
Yep.
Reserves will be feeling pretty happy at the moment, but it is going to be a tough match against Karenni.
Will be.
It is at Victory Square.
Yeah, tough one down at Victory. So that'll be a good one. But the reserves are playing good football at the moment. Got some good youngsters in there. Nelson Suburbs win, I think, hopefully.
The table, Rangers sitting at the top on 27, only 2 points behind are the reserves. FC Nelson a little bit behind on 20, but they've got 2 games in hand.
Yeah.
If they win both of their catch-up games,
Still a point behind.
They're still a point behind Rangers, so they definitely need to keep winning, and also they need Rangers to tip up.
Yeah.
And reserves, of course, only 1 win away from jumping or leapfrogging Rangers.
Yeah,
So
I haven't looked at the fixtures, the remaining fixtures. Need to have a look at them. Actually, it'd be quite interesting to have a look and see what games coming up for Rangers and FC and the reserves, and try and see if you can make any headway of it for who might come up on top there. Not sure if they have to play each other again or whatever. Not really sure at the moment.
Southern League women, and couldn't see any results or draws on Monday Night Football, but I'm advised, Neil, that the girls did make a trip down south. Can you tell us about that game and also the result? Yeah,
no, it was a 1-1 draw in the end. So a long trip to Dunedin. It's hard. Speaking with Giza, I was speaking to him earlier on actually about the game, and they didn't start particularly well. Went down a goal early. But it's tough. We do it a lot, and you have to get down there, and it's a long day. And we have to get them up for it and shake their legs out. And so I think they started pretty slow. Second half reasonably better. Created a few more chances in the second half. Probably could have won it with the chances they created, but 1-1 draw at the end. So the first points on the board, which is good for them. So hopefully they can kick on from there. It doesn't get any easier this weekend, though.
So just remind me who they took on. It was
Roslyn Waikari.
Roslyn Waikari.
Yeah, so that was the game from round 1 that got postponed for the Kate Shepherd Cup.
Right, gotcha. Okay, so if we turn our attention now to the lineup for this weekend, doesn't get any easier. They're going to travel down to Garrett Memorial Park and take on Cashmere Technical.
Oh, yeah. And they've got 1 or 2 not travelling as well. And a big shout out we have to say to Jasmine Barney, who's just been called up to the New Zealand under-20s for these 2 games against Australia.
Oh, wow.
Very well deserved. So she worked so hard. That puts in the extra work. Jasmine's on the show just the other week there. So fantastic for her. So she's with the under-20 fans, so she'll be missing. Also think they've got 1 or 2 others missing. So it's going to be a tough one for them travelling down there. So good luck to them. They're probably going to need it, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Good on you, Neil. He's very busy this week, but of course he's also going to be preparing the team for a big clash. And then we've got Coastal Spirit taking on Otago University. That's at English Park. Coastal actually travelling all right at the moment. They did have a tough result down in Dunedin, but you'd probably favour Coastal.
Yeah, you would.
That one.
You would. Yeah.
Now you had a rest last week.
We did.
Right.
Recuperated,
and that was for the Chatham Cup.
That's right, yeah.
So you go straight into the draw for this week, and if we look at the lineup for this week, Ferrymead Bays take on Dunedin City Royals. That's at Ferrymead Park. Dunedin City Royals travelling all right.
Yeah, good fixture, that one.
That's a bit more of a combined team this year, isn't it? Because they've only got one side from...
well, Mosgiel, Green Island, they got relegated last year. Yeah, so right. But they didn't set Royals are made up from Caversham and another couple of clubs down there from back in the day. So, you just don't know with the Royals. You know where you're going to get with them 1 week to the next. So, but Ferrymead Bays at home, I would fancy Ferrymead Bays to go over the line there.
Nomads taking on FC20, and Nomads been performing fairly consistently. FC20, after a bit of a spurt after their coach went back to some hard times and a bit going on at the club, so you'd have to fancy Nomads there.
You would definitely. I think they lost. A few players as well. FC 2011. I think it's 3 or 4 has gone in the end. New coach and staff. So this is going to be a tough one. Tough into the season for 2011 as well. So Nomads at home. Good young side. Beat us down there 2-0 and deserved it thoroughly. So I think Nomads will beat them at home.
Yeah, it's a tough situation when it goes a bit pear-shaped. Certainly, I've been involved in that situation where you have a pretty classy outfit, and then for one reason or another, players leave, the coach leaves, and you're left with a young side. Yeah, and the decision really is, well, do we bail now or do we see the season through? And the honourable thing is to see the season through to give future generations the opportunity to get back in the league. And FC20, they'll just box on, won't they?
Well, they'll just box on,
Yeah.
yeah. They might have to give one or two younger ones a chance, an opportunity, but it's all part of the learning experience for them. So, fair play to them. They've stuck by it all season. It's been a difficult season for them. I think they probably knew that when they came up it was going to be hard. But yeah, they're still, they turned up against us the other week there, and they gave a very good account for themselves. But having lost those 3 players, and then going to Cash Tech putting 10 past them, they'll be struggling with a little bit of confidence, I would say, at the moment.
I remember some of those players that had to step up, some of them like Billy Scott, 16 years old.
Yeah.
But, if you look at some of those names that were in that team, they went on to have some
it's good to
good careers. And
give them the opportunity. Ross McPhee was another one back in the day with Nelson Suburbs Cup. He played first game at 14. I think he might be the youngest one ever to play in the Champion Cup still. Young Ross, and he's still playing now. So if they're good enough, put them in, see how they go. And, we get players like Ross, Billy, good footballers anyway. If they're ready for it, just give them a try, pick the right game for them and put them in there.
Cashmere Tech taking on Coastal Spirit. It is the big clash.
This is another one. This is where we're hoping. These are the ones we spoke about. So Cashmere Technical. Hopefully they're sitting quite good at the top of the table. But like for us, we want them just to go and win every game now. To be fair, apart from when we play them, obviously. And then hopefully Coastal make that slip up there, and we can capitalise with our home matches against Selwyn.
We'll come back to the Selwyn game. University of Canterbury taking on Christchurch United. Another one where you hope universities turn it on.
Yeah. Well, you just don't know, do you? I mean, unis aren't a bad side either, to be fair to them. There's a lot of good youngsters in there. But Christchurch United, you would imagine, would be too strong for them, I would say.
But definitely what you do need to do is get 3 points for your home game, which is on Sunday, 12:30 at Saxon Field. You take on Selwyn United. You have had some success with them before. But
we beat them down there before. But you have to turn up on the day. It shows what happens if you don't, the right attitude and the right, the right mentality, teams, I've spoke about FC 2011, what happened there, having to change a few things at half time. So, but the boys trained really well last night. Another session on Thursday. Got young Jarvis just turned up. Another Samoan boys just turned up to play for us. So add a little bit more to the depth of the squad. So Spencer left. Spencer Barber, he's gone to up to Auckland to play some football. So So we managed to get Jarvis in, want to skip his contact. So he's an exciting player. So we'll see how he goes in training tomorrow night and see if he's ready for the match day squad.
So what do you do, when a new player comes along, he's got a bit of class about him and you watch him at training. Do you throw him straight on the deep end and see what happens, or do you bench them to get a feel and then bring them on if you need to?
Yeah, we have. Well, Skippy knows him quite well, obviously, from playing for Samoa. So he wasn't there when I was there. He's one of the older ones, but he's apparently he's an exciting player. As you would expect from the islands. So we'll have a look and see how he goes. Might be a bench spot for him just to get to know the team a little. Maybe another week might be good for him, to get a couple of weeks in training, learn to know the systems and how we play, and so we'll have a look at him, and we'll make a decision on Friday.
Yeah. Well, if in training he bangs a few in the back of the net and you're 1-0 down, you never know. You might
that's it.
Throw him in there.
Yeah, that's it. He's a tricky player apparently. He scores goals. So we're glad to have him on board for the season.
Good stuff. All right. As we look at the standings, as you say, Cashmere Tech sitting, not completely comfortable.
No.
They're on 31, just behind them, 4 points behind Coastal Spirit. Christchurch United, 3 points only behind Coastal Spirit. And then not far behind is Nelson Suburbs. So as you say, if both Coastal and Christchurch have a couple of upsets, you're well and truly in the mix, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So hopefully Cash Tech can just kick on, and we've got to play Christchurch United at home and Cash Tech away in a couple of weeks. So we just need to keep plugging away. Hope there's one or two slip ups, and just worry about ourselves really. Look after our own performances first and foremost, and see where we're at the end of the season.
As we turn our attention to the Euros, and it's really getting to the exciting part of the tournament. And let's just look at the quarterfinal results. Spain 2-1 over Germany, and just showed what a class outfit Spain are, and being able to secure that win, especially on Germany's home patch. You
Mhm.
know, that was a massive result. Portugal and France, and Portugal going down on penalties.
Yeah.
So very tight match there. It just goes to show what a good side Portugal is.
Yeah. I think I picked Portugal to win that one,
You
but
did,
I
you
got
did.
close. I got close.
It's a pretty classy side, that
Yeah, they
French
are.
side. England, they look very comfortable on penalties, I must say.
Yeah, maybe we should just do that all the time. Maybe that's the ploy. Just get to extra time and then
It's
go
not
penalties.
normally the case, but obviously, you know, since the last Euros, they've been spending every weekend
Yeah.
taking penalties.
Yeah, well, in the past in competitions, they haven't had too much joy at penalties. Has been the downfall in the past, but you know, 5 excellent penalties,
They were.
unsavable. So you know, and well done to England getting through there.
And actually, Netherlands actually starting now really to show some form
looking good.
and doing it against Turkey.
Yeah.
They're not having it completely their own way. Turkey gave them a scare for sure, but Netherlands did look the better side overall, didn't they?
They did in the end. They did quite comfortable in the end. Really, it was only 2-1, but they played some good football.
And then before you know it, we had a semi-final this morning. And Spain going through 2-1 against France. And I didn't see the first half, but certainly saw the second half. And France were down 2-1 going into the second half. And I must say, you know, maybe Spain sat back a little bit because France certainly turned it on. They did look a very classy side against a very good Spanish side, but just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net.
One of the better games, actually. I think the goals coming quite early helped the game with both teams, you know. But the first goal by 16-year-old Jamal was incredible. 16 years old. I mean, he's got some future in front of him, hasn't he?
Isn't he? I mean, you know, he wasn't. There was about 2 or 3 defenders around him. He wasn't really even in a position to take a shot, but he created the space and around it went. And then in the second half, he almost did it again.
Yeah,
wasn't far right.
But even in that game, we spoke about England want to take players on, and that's what Spain do have in those wide areas. They take players on. They've got players that can make a difference centrally, and they've got to be favourites for it now, I would say.
I mean, France must have got a bit of a rev up at half time because they definitely came out, I thought, playing better football. It's just their final delivery. It just didn't quite match, apart from their first goal, which was, you know, probably I'd say bad defending by the Spanish team. But they, you know, across to the far post and got himself away from the defender and nicely into the back of the net. But after that, you know, delivery into the box just wasn't the same.
What they were doing, because you didn't see the first half. I watched the first half before I had to go to work. But so they were peppering and they were putting a lot of balls into the box.
Yeah.
Spain were quite comfortable with it, just not heading them away and not really under pressure. And, you know, they had that 2-1 lead, as we spoke about, and then France came out and, I think they just... the similar kind of thing, balls in the box, you know, nothing really too different. And Spain were quite comfortable with it, looking to catch them on the counter attack. But Spain, they're looking really good. They're looking good,
aren't they? And then tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. It's all to do
penalties. We've got penalties, are we?
I saw a headline in one of the Southgate aiming for penalty shootout.
Well,
you'd hope, because actually in that quarterfinal, I thought England started showing some of the talent that they really do have. Saka, was able to take some players on. You know, one of the things I noticed was the fact that, doing a long ball over top of the defence for Saka to run onto, and he was able to get past players and get the ball into the box, but also create the opportunity to cut back, and that's where the goal came from, which we know he's very good at doing. It was a more attacking side. They played better football.
He's a couple of decisions to make for his starting 11, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Southgate. So be interesting to see what comes up there.
But there's lots of talk about bringing Cole Palmer on and all those guys, and to me, especially with the form that Palmer's in, you give him a crack, but he's not going to change. He's not going to take off Harry Kane.
If he hasn't done it by now, you wouldn't have thought so. But maybe he's got one up his sleeve. You just never know. Semi-final, I think you've got to go for it. Hopefully it's a good game, because, to be fair, the whole Euros, there's only been 1 or 2 or 3 good games. I think it's been quite an average tournament, if I'm being honest. Some of the football and some of it's quite negative, and teams are happy just to sit in and not let the other one score and then try and do something. But hopefully it's a good game. Are you picking one?
Well,
Come on.
Jeez, I mean, the heart would have to go with England. Sorry, to my fellow Dutch footballers. Yeah, and if they can attack the ball, but you see, the thing is, both those sides have have players that can make a difference.
What it needs is an early goal for someone. Someone
Yeah,
to score early.
although in the
Bit
last,
like the game this morning, which turned into a half decent game once there's a
well,
goal.
that's
So
right.
the other team has to come out and try and do something, and as long as it goes 0-0, they don't want to concede, and that's when it becomes a little bit backwards and a little bit negative. But yeah, no, I'm picking one. I reckon England will get through again. I've said it every time. They always find a way. I think they'll get through it, and I think Spain will be heartbreaking the final for England again. I think Spain will win it.
Spain will be too classy.
I think they will be. They're
Yeah.
too good a team.
There you go. All right. I'll just agree with you. There you go. Easy way out.
Yeah.
The International Cup in Christchurch, and lots of families and kids down there.
Yeah.
Some great football.
Under 14s got underway.
Yeah.
So 16 teams in the competition.
Wow.
Cup champions in the Invincibles from Auckland. They're very good. They're good teams in all the age groups. They're a massive club up there. Runners up, Nomads United. So Nomads will be very happy with that. Third place, Wanaka.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah. Yep. So well done to Wanaka.
Yeah.
And the plate winners were Selwyn United. Just for the teams locally, Marlborough finished 7th. So quite a good tournament for them. Suburbs 11th. And Golden Bay finished 17th, but again, well done to Golden Bay for getting a team down there and giving those kids the experience of the tournament. The under 15s, Skippy's just called me earlier, so they got their first game against Marlborough. So they'll be playing right now. So good luck to the 15s and all the other teams from Nelson Marlborough that are in the tournament.
Yeah.
We'll try and keep you updated next week.
That's right. I'm sure results will be firing on Facebook. Thank you very much, Neil. So for you, it's more holiday programs this week, is it?
Yeah, tomorrow again. I know there's huge numbers down there. Great day for it. So yeah, tomorrow and Friday. Yeah, training on Thursday. Got my academy boys training this afternoon actually before we head away next week. So yeah, fairly busy with the football. And, looking forward to the game on Sunday.
Well, that's right. In between, you got to prepare for a game against Selwyn.
Yeah, one thing at a time. Just take one thing at a time. Yeah, and I'm away next week, so Skippy will be flat out next week. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's good.
All right. Well, maybe we might be able to get Skippy in the studio
Yeah,
I'm
sure he will
for the podcast.
Sure, that was a plan.
All right, great. Thank you very much, Neil.
You're welcome.
Appreciate your time and good luck this Sunday, 12:30 at Saxton versus Selwyn. My thanks to our venue sponsor, the Turf Hotel, Stan and the team. A special thanks to George Molnar at Bays Joinery and the team for their support. You can catch this and other podcasts on MBS Talk Nelson, on our social media channels, and also Spotify under MBS Talk Nelson. We'll see you again next week on the Bays Joinery Football Focus.
Talk Nelson Radio. It's the Talk of Nelson.